No, this title is clickbait. This is not a two-tower chimps, not including Pre-Emptive Strike or Apache Prime. For goodness sakes! So let us begin this game not by using the submarine here. Not using the submarine here. Intro done and dusted. Let us upgrade to barbed darts, and this is going to carry us all the way to the helicopter, which we need for round 24 because our submarine here doesn't have camera section, but it can have it with one particular upgrade in mind, which is why we're going with 250 rather than 052. I notice when I hear other people's videos in comparison to mine, it's like no matter what settings I put my microphone at or my Go XLR at, it just sounds really quiet for some odd reason. I think that's probably because I don't have a preamps for my microphone, which people strongly recommend for the maximum amount of volume without tweaking up your volume to the maximum settings in your video editing software, which when you stretch it to a certain point, it reduces its clarity and quality. Round 14 goes down very easily. Just set your submarine on strong and that's it. No microing whatsoever there. So let's put down a helicopter now, and let's get ourselves camo detection with the IFR upgrade. I can also pin it down to my lack of clarity when I'm speaking at times, but I do notice that I wish my volume was just naturally louder within the recordings in which I do, rather than sounding like a church mouse. That's probably a pretty poor comparison, sorry. Speaking of core, heated darts is a core component to get us through the early leads. Sometimes today's video is a continuation of yesterday's video, day 3 of taking my antibiotics for my blocked ear canal. Still not really noticing a big difference when it comes to my ear canal being recovered from being blocked, which is very not ideal whatsoever because I can only really hear out of my left ear. Also, like the previous video, we haven't really died to a yellow balloon so far, which is really surprising. Like, one of these menaces will catch up to us, surprise us, and give us that -4 death screen with the yellow balloon presented on it. Thank you. It's really satisfying to know which balloon killed my run. Quad darts pursuit is probably the least of the beneficial options when it comes to the top half heli, but it's nice not being able to constantly move you around and according to where you want the helicopter to be. But sometimes when you want the maximum results from your heli, you have to set it on that follow mouse setting. I never had a situation where I feel like, yes, patrol points is the best option for it, and for some odd reason it is not actually going through that patrol point because there's popping balloons over here. So yeah, either pursue or follow mouse, or even just lock it in place. Can you think of a really good usage of patrol points? Please let me know in the comment sections if I am definitely missing out on something. I think of any illness related thing, I think the most fearful thing is not knowing what it is. Half the battle is discovering what it is that is causing you said pain, said ache, said symptoms to occur. And then from there, once you find your diagnosis, then you can start countering it as best as you possibly can. Because I think definitely, if you can agree with me, and I think most people will agree with me of saying that not knowing what something is really distressing. And I think the worst case scenario when you come out of your doctors is that they don't know what's going on, and basically it's like you haven't even been to a doctor's because we haven't been able to found anything about what's going on at that given point in time. I'm not saying comment down below on what traumatic experience, not traumatic, but visits to the hospital, visits to the nurses, doctors, etc. on something in which you've been going through, but the cause of said thing has not been found upon the visiting to the doctors. I'm not saying put it like as in like what you're going through, but just comment down if you have gone through like a similar sort of thing. With a possible exception is if you are comfortable doing so, but I'm not going to ask what your day-to-day routine is or anything like that. I'm just generally curious because sometimes I feel like I'm the only one that goes through pain, but I know that's such a stupid concept because everybody goes through some kind of pain within their lifetime. We're going to go to Apache Dart Ship now, and believe it or not, the only two towers in which Apache Dart Ship have done a 2TC with is Wizard Lord Phoenix, and before Poseidon's damage types were changed, I've already given the tower away, Poseidon. If antibiotics don't work, and probably eardrops will be the next best thing, and if from there nothing really happens, I'm really not too sure. I think rounds 98 and 99 are the only ones that are going to give us a little bit of concern here. Rounds 98 because of the sheer number of balloons on the screen. Round 99, it's going to have to do with the first strike capability ability and when you fire it in order to try and damage as many of the fortified deities as you can, because the preemptive missile, or the preemptive missile upgrade, only does so much damage to the fortified deities. It doesn't wipe them out like it does on like round 95, round 93, 90. I know those are in reverse chronological order, but you get what I mean. We know that regular Moabs are not a problem, but what about fortified Moabs? Twice as much HP on both the outer layer and the outer layers of the ceramics, but everything else is not fortified. Round 63, not a problem. Apache Dart Ship is really good tower to use until you get to the 80s where it starts to drop off. I think it definitely has a bit of a weakness to super fortified ceramics, but I think a lot of towers have that same weakness, unless of course you're like the Glaive Lord, the Spirit of the Forest, sort of that sort of stuff. Even like the biggest one, that's brilliant against super fortified ceramics. Hypothetically, if the biggest one had its normal damage type still, and it currently has the the update 44 Ultra Boost mechanics, then you would be able to have your first 2TC with the biggest one on record using the Ultra Boost. Just getting that fire rate out, and alongside the buffs to both the Moab bonus damage and the extra damage caused by Barney stuff. And yes, you want 502, not the additional fire rate, although the only purpose nowadays for that is for additional stun rather than additional damage, because that Barney stuff, that smokes. The most wasteful thing that a ballistic missile can do is just not hit its target, because I think sometimes when it tries to hit its target, the target is destroyed, so the missile just then defaults back to firing back inside the submarine itself. Self-annihilation. That's what we call a return to sender sort of thing. That doesn't really work well in real life though if you are a ballistic missile. So what do we do about this missile that we no longer have use but it's still in flight? Could you return it back to the submarine somehow? Yeah, sure sir. I'm pretty sure there's no catastrophic consequences when it comes to that sort of thing. Billions of monies just sunk to the ocean floor, especially like in America where like 50% of its budget goes to its military and then the rest goes towards anything that's kind of important or really important. And probably then I'm exaggerating. I don't know the exact statistics, but I know that they're the country that spend the most amount on their military in the entire world, and it's not even a question. Why do I mention that? Because we are using two military towers today, and I thought that, well, speaking of military vehicles, including this helicopter and this submarine, there are other kind of specimens out there as well, like Churchill, well, mainly the vehicle in which Churchill drives. The actual Churchill, though, unfortunately passed away a long time ago, with his bottle of whiskey still in hand. Probably. I don't know. I wasn't around when he unfortunately passed away. What that man did though for both the UK and also for the rest of Europe is truly extraordinary. Freeing us from an evil regime. And speaking of evil regimes, camo ceramics in great numbers died to the hands of this Tier 5 helicopter. First strike capabilities now online. We definitely need the Pre-Emptive Strike. We can't do a first strike capabilities 2TC with the Apache Prime. There's a lack of DDT coverage, even though these two can damage them. this with only its ability. The Apache Prime is not a very good DDT popper. Only 2 of its 4 attacks do damage against it, and that's the plasma attack that it has at the front of its helicopter, along with its razor rotors. The missiles and lasers do jack against it. Now I do hope that we do afford Pre-Emptive Strike before round 90, because I don't fancy flying our helicopter around like a mosquito, like a dragonfly, whatever kind of insect that goes around 24/7. Probably not even like that, because they need to sleep at some point throughout the day. But ones that just fly about a huge amount. I'm talking about Heli Micro, by the way. 85 ZOMG. Let's just wipe out the other ZOMG using our ability. Not necessary, since the Apache Prime could have dealt with it, but you know, sometimes we've got to be able to use something, otherwise we're going to forget its existence entirely if you forget about using it for so long. Round 87. Checking our currents, and then there really isn't many currents though to check on. Okay, we're just going to check out that third ZOMG, and now we've got Pre-Emptive Strike. Automatically triggers a powerful missile attack whenever a Moab class balloon spawns from the entrance. It used to have in its description that it performed a Moab assassin kind of effect on freshly spawned Moabs from the beginning of the track. It's not quite that, because I think this is definitely better than the Moab assassin bomb tower ability. Round 90, no problem whatsoever. No denying that this is one of the easier combinations to perform throughout all of the towers in this game. Round 93, 6 DDTs is time to combat against. Did you know that nowadays the Pirate Lords can solo all of the DDTs around 93 just using its hook ability? But then again, it can't really damage them as outside of its hot shot grapes. Not really a reliable source of damage, but at least it's better than the shockwave damage that the biggest one can perform. Now we can't pop the purples with the lasers and plasma in which the helicopter is trying to churn out. So I think in some cases the Dark Ship is better for round 95 for the first part of it, and then just leave the rest towards the Apache Prime, because then the only things in which are stopped are the leads, which stops the sharp projectiles, the darts, the Dart Ship. Round 97, just remove one of them possibly. Yeah, just remove one of them using your first strike capability ability. Yes, I'm pretty sure that if you don't know Blues Tower Defense 6, you have no idea what I'm talking about when it comes to saying the words first strike capability ability. Round 98, I'm thinking about playing some follow mouse, just because I like to keep track on what it is that I am popping, because there's a lot of balloons here. We may need that ability for round 99 though, so if we don't pop all of this too quickly, we need at last excuse me? You just use the shortest amount of track to get there? No, I think one of them just slipped through my defenses, so we're going to keep you on pursuit instead. Perhaps keeping you on pursuit is the best option, since I'm not very good when it comes to micro-ring towers. Unless it's a mortar, but I'm not very good in the micro-ring department. If you tell me to do ace micro-ring very well, I might as well just go with the "can I just exit life" option, please, because I am not that well capable of doing a said thing. And we managed to wipe out those with, oh my god, that last DT kind of scared me. Sometimes it feels like that one of the DTs just has a bit more health, but I know that at the end of the day it's not that. It's just the amount of damage that we received from the correct kind of projectiles, because the wrong kind of ones won't do any damage to begin with. Let's see. Are we at low HP? Are we? We were not low enough, but at least we don't have to worry about the DDTs. That is downscaling. So there we go, everybody. That is, aside from a little hiccup on round 98, a very successful and very doable 2-tower chimps. 2 military towers, which I think honestly are, it's either magic or military, are like the strongest towers in the game. Like support obviously is more for supportive purposes, but then again you got combinations like Sentry Champion and Ultra Boost, which simultaneously supports one another, one for more attack rate and the other one for utter devastation. So yeah folks, with these 2 towers you can achieve great things, but I just fancy doing a 2 tower chimps with a preemptive strike today. And I didn't really fancy doing something ultra convoluted because I'm not feeling 100% at the moment. I hope to have my preamp delivered soon so that I can hook that up to my microphone and then hook it up to my Go XLR, and hopefully my voice will naturally be louder in recordings, because right now I feel like I have to shout quite loudly and I still sound very quiet when it comes to recording itself. It's been something that's been ongoing for quite a while and I do not know why. I think it's just a fact, but I just don't invest enough money into actually getting the proper correct setup put in place. I've got one thing, got the other thing, I haven't got anything to kind of aid both ends. And I think that's kind of what the preamp does. I pretty much know nothing about microphones, so it's like, I went for one that a lot of other people use, which is for sure SM7B. But I know basically nothing about it. All I know is that there's one end, there's another end. You connect both ends using a XLR to XLR cable. Anyways, this outro has been going on for long enough. If you like the video and you want to see more videos like this in the future, then please be sure to like, comment and subscribe. Don't know why that was like it there. To see more videos like this in the future. If you are ever in the store and you want to purchase something, let's say you want more Monkey Muns, then before you make your purchase, please input my creator support code and a share of that money goes towards me, so that then I can continue paying my hospital bill. I don't have any hospital bills, but anyways, because I don't live in America. Thank you all so much for watching, everybody, and take care of yourselves.